Okay, I will tell you on how we built a complete full-featured telco from scratch with just using FreeSWITCH as the main workhorse. But first, let me introduce myself. My name is Henning. I'm working with VoIP since more than 20 years, working with FreeSWITCH since more than 10 years. This year is my third ClueCon, and I'm the founder of Collier.net, which is a small telco company in Germany. So we are offering SIP trunks for businesses focused on inbound call centers. It's a pretty young company, just 3 years old. As I said, it's located in Germany, and we are currently operating in Germany and Austria. And if you now think about kangaroos, there are no kangaroos in Austria. I will talk about technical stuff only today. So you will see lots of config and code snippets, and I will not talk about any other stuff like billing, regulatory, legal issues, or operational stuff. When I planned the system, I had to consider following topics. The platform should be able to handle hundreds of parallel calls. It should be aware of heavy peak loads. And that was the main topic. I wanted to start with a low architecture complexity to reduce maintenance and risk. So I don't want it to have too much components on one place, just to make sure that we run in, if we run in any performance issues on heavy loads, that we will be able to fix it very soon. Another topic is high availability. We planned from the beginning with a geo-redundant platform. And one important thing is also that customers fail over if one region goes down. Will take place immediately and not while waiting for any timeout or something like this. And last but not least, we wanted to integrate AI agents. FreeSWITCH can do this all. That's a short view on the platform structure. We are running 2 FreeSWITCH servers in 2 different AWS availability zones. The primary server is the active server. The secondary server is the failover or backup server. Both FreeSWITCH servers are connected to an Amazon RDS multi-AZ cluster with holds a database for each FreeSWITCH instance, and as well the Collier database, which holds all our configuration data for the carrier servers. So we also have 2 SIP profiles, one heading to the interconnection carriers and one internal profile for our customer SIP trunks. Our own Collier database holds subscriber data like user password hashes and channel limits. the numbers per subscriber, some configuration data we can set down to each number, routing tables for outbound traffic, for outbound routing to the interconnection carriers, call detail records, and much more like lost it. Yeah. Much more than AP configuration, billing data, and so on. Okay. How to start? First of all, install FreeSWITCH, of course, and then get rid of all the default vanilla config, and let's build your own FreeSWITCH XML. That's our very basic FreeSWITCH XML file. So we have in the first part some global variables like IP addresses, like database DSNs. In the wild, it's much longer, of course. And we have the 3 configuration sections here. And you will see 2 configuration sections that are that includes static XML files, and the directory will be filled dynamically by an JS XML handler, which connects to our database to get the user data or the subscriber data. That's a module configuration. It's a very bare essential configuration or selection of the modules. So we have some essential modules. We have some sound-related stuff, and just a handful of other modules which we are using. Especially, it's a mod V8 to integrate JS. Scripting, and as well the configuration for the XML handler. This is not all. So we also have the mod PGSQL, which has to be preloaded, and of course the main module, the mod Sophia, which is loaded at post after all the modules are loaded. As I told before, we are scripting the directory section dynamically with an JS script, and you can see in the top configuration part on how this is included in the V8 configuration section, and down here you can see a JavaScript which handles the requests and does the database query and generate the XML configuration part dynamically. So be sure to sanitize the user header you send to the database, just to make sure that you're not vulnerable to SQL attacks. And after we got the database result, we putting it all together and sending an XML back. That's all. After this, take the modules configuration from the vanilla config for all your selected modules and put it together. You can customize it to your needs, and for Mod Sophia, you have to configure 2 SIP profiles, one internal profile to your customers and one carrier profile which heads to your interconnection carriers. The dial plan, as I said before, is also a static file, so you can configure the dial plan to your needs. Configure 2 contacts, public contacts, which handles all the calls coming in from the interconnection carriers. Within this, you have to program a script which lookups the DID subscriber mappings in the database, gets channel limits if you're working with, and gets some parameters and scripts based for any DID. And the internal contact handles the calls coming in from your customers, and there you have to look up your routing table just to know where to send your calls to which interconnection carrier. Performance sort. When we have direct connection to the database on any call, we need to make sure that we cache our subscriber to number mappings, just to make sure that we will not blast our database when there's high traffic or when there are any attacks. And therefore, I use mod hash to store all the relevant data in our hash table, and I keep it for 5 minutes or so until I refresh it on every new call. To keep away load from your FreeSWITCH, you should avoid transcoding and media handling as far as possible. So we reduced the codecs to PCMA, should be PCMA, PCMU, and G722. And you should use, whenever possible, the bypass media after bridge, which causes the media flow flowing around the FreeSWITCH server, but it will only work if there's no net involved. If you need to use system calls, maybe like touching any files, if you're playing sound files or something like this, you should use the BG system AP call and not the system AP call, just to be sure that it's non-blocking. And if you're using the BG system API, you should make sure that you set the parameter threaded system exit to true. I had to learn it. And also do some checking of minimum number lengths and logical tests in your dial plan, just to make sure that any attacks will not hit your database. For AI integration, I use UniMRCP with commercial plugins. It sounds a little bit outdated, I know, but the development behind this is a couple of years old. And we are currently using UMS GDF for the connection to Google Dialogflow, and UMS Poly to get TTS files from Amazon Poly, which are currently the best voices, especially in German language. Beware that the mod uni MRCP is not in the FreeSWITCH tree, so you have to compile it separately. That's just an example for your reference on how to connect to Dialogflow. It's just the built-in speech transcribe and followed by the project ID and some additional Dialogflow parameters. Should be, but it isn't. So we always have to handle fax, especially in Germany, because they don't give a fax. So and therefore we are having just a small fax to mail script, which can be configured on HDID for any customer with any destination email address, and it works very, very well. And so we don't have to care too much on fax, fortunately. Although we are using FreeSWITCH as the main workhorse, of course we have some additional stuff. As I mentioned before, it's a uni MRCP with commercial plugins. And to keep the bad guys out, we are using APBan. Thank you, Fred. Fail to ban. And for monitoring, we are using Homer zip capture, of course. Who does not? And Grafana. Okay, finished. Any questions?
Good question, Henning. Are there any questions? We need to take a look out across. We'll probably have a mic to run if there are. Nice to see you using all of those other projects. Jack's got a question. Jack never lets us down, does he? He's there with the questions. Here comes Nick running your way. Jack.
Thank you, Nick. Thanks again, Nick. Thanks, Henning. Thank you. So do you have customers who have IPPBXs? So do you have requirements to interface your subscriber side where some of your customers have IPPBXs, and how do you handle that?
Most of them have on-premise IPPBXs as well as cloud-based IPPBXs. So we defined a zip trunk. We can handle also some round-robin configurations, so the customers can connect on many zip trunks, maybe on different internet connections to us.
So you don't have a special dial plan for your IPPBX customers? You have a special dial plan or SIP profile for your SIP trunks?
Yes, it's...
okay, I was just... yeah. That's really cool. And then the next question, do you have any requirements for WebRTC?
Not in this configuration. We are running another gateway to connect local or on-premise IP PBXs to WebRTC-driven apps. Yes,
oh,
but it's not in our main carrier platform. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Very good.
Thank you, Jack. We've got another question for young Henning. Was that a question, sir, or was it just an involuntary? Okay, fair enough. Okay. Any other questions for dear Henning? A name somewhat famous in the world of SIP, Henning, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Indeed. Okay, if there are no further questions, let's give Henning a big, big thank you.